This conference will now be recorded.
I haven't been to a meeting in a while.
Yeah,
See, now I feel bad. Do I know everybody? I mean, I think so, maybe.
yeah.
Okay.
Hi, Dan. We know Jennifer. Isn't that like knowing you?
Pretty much, yeah. So no, I think we're good then. So if you know her, then
Well,
yeah.
no, go
No.
ahead. I don't want
Oh
to.
no, I was just looking. So I've already talked to Jennifer and Tiffany. You look familiar. Have I met you before? Maybe yes. No.
I'm not sure if you've been on the call I've been on the last two, I think.
Okay, and I think I missed the last two. So
Yeah. Because I
okay,
started,
well,
I think, 2 times ago.
yeah, well, good to meet you.
Thank you.
And again, you look familiar, but I'm just like, maybe, yes, no.
So, Anne,
Jennifer's been leading the meetings, but I'm new as well. Do you want a little intro? Would that be helpful, Dan?
I'm a fast learner. I'll pick it up. I just wanted to make sure that. So yeah. If you know Jennifer and stuff, you know me. So okay. So
Intros are quick. It takes seconds.
yeah, where are you from?
I live in Concord, Mass. I have relapsing remitting, diagnosed in 2016. And my major symptom is fatigue. I no longer work. And I'm starting to have a problem with walking. So I've been using poles when I go out in the morning.
Okay, nice. See, good to meet you. And I'm just saying, Jennifer, you're above her, so I want to keep track of everybody. Where are you now? You're down in Indiana, yes.
Right. I have relapse remitting as well. I was diagnosed in 2019. 2019. This is my last week at my job. I'm going to continue to work, but I'll work for the Wayne County Health Department as health educator for infant mortality. But I do run a whole outpatient addictions program, and it's getting a little bit much for me.
Yeah, understood.
I've done that for 15 years, though.
Wow.
I'm done.
I know Frank, and I know Kim, and I know Karen, and Tiffany. We just met, so.
Yeah, I was just diagnosed a little over 2 months ago.
Wow.
So I'm still fairly new.
Yeah, and where do you live?
Massachusetts. I live in Attleboro.
Yep. Wow.
wow. So, how are you feeling, Tiffany?
Does anyone know how to get Oh, sorry.
Okay.
How to get like everybody on the
I was just
video?
wondering if anyone knows.
Yeah.
I can't see everybody. Yeah, I'm on an iPad. Does anyone happen to know how to get everybody to show up?
I'm on an iPad too. I have the same issue. I can only see like myself and like 5 other people.
Me too.
Yeah, I wonder, it might be an issue with the iPad.
Oh.
Kim, do you have any help?
I do not have an iPad. I'm just wondering if there's a settings on your iPad somewhere where you can change it to like gallery view or something. I don't know. I'll mute myself.
I feel like I've had
myself and
this
ask
issue.
my husband. Hold on a second.
On Zoom, you can only, when you're on a tablet or a phone, you can only see 4 squares.
And it depends on.
I've had this.
But you can scroll to the other people. With this, you can't scroll over like
the other people.
Well, is there a speaker view? So
we can't see Karen at all. Yeah.
Sure.
Oh well. If you figure it out, let me know. Okay.
Yeah, I was looking on the last couple. I haven't figured it out, and I feel like I use this program like on a computer at work, and it's better. But when I use it on the iPad, I can only see a limited view.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I can claim it. Thanks, Apple.
Oh, there's something you can do to show the person talking.
Yeah.
That's a little different.
Hi, Michael.
Hi, Mike.
Hi, Mike.
One big happy family.
I was gonna say.
Yeah. So, how is everyone doing? Anybody have anything they want to talk about tonight? Yeah. Did you all get a chance to see Kim moderating the urologist?
Yes,
Yeah.
good job.
Oh, thanks. It was supposed to be 20 minutes of Q&A and it turned into 45 minutes. So I was happy that I was able to keep it going.
Again,
That
it
worked
went
well.
all what I
It
expected.
was very informative.
It was. It was very informative. I found it very interesting. I still
Yeah.
have to keep watching it because there's certain parts that just, with my cognition, it still does not soak into my brain.
That was my experience. I couldn't even stand to go back and listen to it. And so I've seen that. I'm trying to get my camera on. I don't know why it's not doing it. Oh, I have to share it. Yeah, that was my experience. And it's not just with her. I don't get it. There's some other, I forgot who it was. I don't go to their things anymore. This guy who does MS News and Views. So there was a presentation of two different presenters who were really great. And I have a paralyzed right hand and and a slow brain. And I said, can I have a copy of the slides? Well, you can watch it. And it's like, well, I don't want to watch it 6 more times and still walk away with the same inability to absorb the information. So I think going forward, if there are programs, just to make people aware of that, because you sort of presume it's a wrong presumption that anybody who might know something about MS, but especially a non-MS, but even I was astounded about how I couldn't follow, because I'm from New York. I'm a really fast talker, and I haven't really tested it lately, but even I'm like mediocre with Spanish, but I could even understand Cubans, and they talk really fast.
She
Were
was
you
nice. She was nice enough to release her slides on her website.
I did get a copy of that,
did that
but
help you?
yeah, but I felt so overwhelmed. It just was shockingly overwhelming for me, just personally, because my cognition is so like that, hit and miss.
Yeah.
I feel like I need a script for people in general. Just okay, I have MS. I have primary progressive. I'm coming up. I'm definitely on the 3 years ago was on the path to what the hell's wrong with me. So I'm really coming up to that anniversary of being diagnosed. It's been, and I'm Karen. I'm in Oakland, California. Although I heard that the weather at Frank's is warmer today than in Oakland. I don't know if that's true.
All I can say is it's 54 degrees right now.
It's about what it was. It's about what it was here. I mean, this is the first week where I'm not going to go swimming, but I did go last week. And today I almost could. And I was like, no, it's 56. I don't want to go.
Yeah, that's cool.
But I had to call the pharmacist today, and it's the neuro pharmacist who knows, who works with my doctor. I just got results from a B12. I mean, it's like no big deal. And I'm not usually like that, like a loss for words, and I'm glad it was him and not somebody else who doesn't always say, no, you're fine. It's okay. You're fine. It's like, no, I'm not fine. And it's not okay, that I can't get the words out. I mean, it was so simple. It was just, I know the results came back and I just wanted to know, should I keep doing the same B12? And it took so much to just spit it out. And he did get it. It wasn't like wasn't patronizing at all, looked it up. All right, we came up with a plan. And then he's like, okay, well, why don't you, and then what about the vitamin D? Well, why don't you just take it, 3 times a week? What about like Monday, Wednesday, Friday? And I was like, ooh, what a good idea. Will I remember that? And I put a note in my calendar, but I know like 3 months from now, will I remember that I put a note in my calendar that I spoke to Wilbur, the pharmacist, and he said that?
Well, you've told us, so I've got it in my calendar. I'll say,
Okay,
hey, Karen,
thanks.
did you
Thanks.
take vitamins yesterday? Don't forget to do it tomorrow, at least
Monday,
twice a month.
Wednesday, Friday, because I was doing it every other day. And then it's like, okay, what if I have like a real plan, in that see-through, non-opaque. Holly last time said, just make sure you have things in a see-through bag. And she's right. So, because I rearranged the stuff in my swimming bag, and I thought, okay, surely I could remember that my bathing cap is in this white opaque bag. And I go to the, and it's like, I can't find my bag. I can't find where's my caps? And I have them all in one bag. Where are they? So there's just a lot more of that. So definitely anybody who's going to be doing a presentation, just slow it down.
Quiet group today.
I have something to talk about. Employees or employers. Probably in September, I felt like I was being pushed out because in 15 years, I have never, actually in my whole career of whatever, I have like worked my ass off. I was on it, and since September, I've been written up. I was going on 3 times, and I was like, and they were like, nothing that was my fault, nothing that I could have helped. And I was like, I think they're pushing me out. I know they're pushing me out. I'm a liability. And it really fucking sucks. It sucks. Because I know I do a good job. I've done it forever, but the fall guy would be me. I am the redheaded stepchild of addiction and outpatient.
Were you open? Do they know you have MS?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I started FMLA.
Okay.
Now, the Wayne County Health Department, I have worked aside by them all the time through the addiction, like the syringe exchange and all that. And the guy who's the director has always wanted me on. He knows my issues, but he still wants me. And I was like, okay, let's do this finally. And he's like, I'll say, I have brain damage, leave me alone. He's like, oh, we're going to go with that one today, huh? Like, he makes me feel like I'm still valued. Because I was losing that. Because I kick ass. I'm going to say I do. The last 2 weeks, I've housed 4 people, homeless people. And I know I still got it. I might be a little slow and forget a lot of things because my issues are cognitive as well. I have Post-it notes. I have Excel sheets. I try to stay and I remember stuff, but it's exhausting and they just keep on adding more to it. And I'm just like, I'm done.
So
That's just the regular stuff. And then how about, we've upgraded the program, and all you need to do is come up with a simple 12-digit password that you'll easily remember.
Oh, I write them all down. I haven't remembered a password in years. But they're all in the same place. I can remember that one place.
They have to change it every 3 months, so good luck with that one.
Yeah, exactly.
I was tossing it out, writing the new one. I
So
actually.
I'm going out with the best I could do. I'm going to, some people who stop their jobs just stop. I'm not. These are people's lives. I'm going to continue to do it. And till I can't, no more.
Now, will you be working like more remotely then? Is that how that works? Or
Yeah. It'll be figuring out like where the infant mortality and the like aftercare. I could facilitate bereavement groups, which I'm pretty still good at groups. I'm still good at facilitating groups. I don't know how I do it, but I bullshit all the way. I just like, okay. So I just get them to talk. We're good. You get people to talk, it could last 2 hours. I just listen and be like, okay, yeah. But I'll start a bereavement group and stuff like that for moms who've lost babies and stuff. And it's increased in, all over really. In Indiana, we have a amount of people that are kids or babies that are dying before their first birthday. So it's going to be interesting. Wow. I've been educating myself though, like TED Talk. I'm all about it. Writing notes down, whatever. So I'm getting prepared.
wow.
Well, good luck.
Yeah, good luck with the new job.
Ugh.
Hopefully
But
in
it's
the
good.
end it'll be less stressful and you'll like it more than the old job.
I think it will because I'm in charge of therapists to behavior clinicians to everything, and also acting as a peer and everything else, and it's just so much.
And it's so good to get out before you got pushed out or you even believe that you got pushed out. And if you've done something for a really long time, I've had symptoms for 20 years that I know about. So every time I had problems at work, it was, well, it's just me. It's me, it's my personality, it's my whatever. And, even though I'm knowing like, gosh, I have this weakness in my hand, I mean, my dominant hand, what can I do? And running groups is great. That part is like, oh yeah, especially a bereavement group, because you're like, okay, I get it, and people really appreciate. The last job I had was running a couple of caregiver support groups, and not knowing I was going to need a caregiver myself, but it's still, people appreciate that self-disclosure. And it's funny, you're like, well, you got a group, get people talking. It's like Dan and Jennifer, like, we want to go to bed. Can we shut this down? No, we're still talking. So,
Excuse me. Speaking of caregivers, Karen, I had a caregiver that swore she just had a sinus drainage.
Oh no.
And now I'm sneezing and I'm coughing and I'm walking around with Kleenex everywhere I go because she only had sinus drainage. And no, but
and you wanted to believe
you
it.
want to believe her. You don't want to call her out and say, "No, woman, I think you're sick," but you need help, so you suck it up and.
So next meeting, I'll be the one walking around with the Kleenex because I'll have sinus drainage. And so then I will let caregiver Jen know about this. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, it's one of the things where, and we won't get COVID talking and stuff, but you think about, when we were all required to wear masks out in public and stuff, and it's just like, I didn't get sick. Jennifer didn't get sick last year because, well, A, we weren't going anywhere, but B, people were wearing masks. And I mean, I went out to Target last night and, when you're vaccinated and stuff like here in Michigan, you're not required to wear masks out in public. I did. I'm just like, because I'm like, it's cold and flu season, or it's sinus drainage season. And I just didn't want to have that. So you run with that, but it's just like the sickness that's out there. I mean, it's that time of year. And so it's just like, I'm not too proud to wear a mask. And I think that's, where we can get into the discussion then, just because, double vaccinated and booster shot, but I mean, just because of Ocrevus, I'm not as well protected as, the average Joe and Jane that have it, that aren't taking, things that knock out your immune system. And so it's just like, I don't want to take chances. I mean, so I'm picky if we go out, but it's like if we go out to eat dinner at a restaurant, okay, call it a bar. We'll call it a bar, right? But it's just like, I don't wear a mask there, but I think it's just I feel like I'm in control enough to where there's enough separation with people, and it's not, and we go on off hours and stuff. We eat, with like all the other old people like us and go at like 4:30 in the afternoon. Nobody's, bars aren't full then, right? But it's just that, that sense of the fear of getting sick. And then when it comes to your home, you don't know what you're just like I guess that's what we deal with now. So
Yeah.
that's my soapbox. I'll shut up. So
Yeah.
So
Are you?
people that just suddenly are not wearing masks anywhere. And
yeah,
my husband, he doesn't have MS and he's fine, but he wears a mask everywhere because of me. We haven't been out to a restaurant since March of last year.
wow. Yeah, understood.
We got patio furniture and propane lamps because we're in the Boston area and it's cold. And we have a few friends and heated blankets out there. We have a few friends who will come all winter long and visit. But other than that, we're kind of just the two of us.
I work in a nursing home, and like we have visitors coming in. It's required that they wear a mask in the nursing home the whole time. And we're constantly fighting with family members. You got to keep your mask on. Well, why? I'm like, because you do.
Yeah.
I work with people 60 and up. Like, wear your mask.
Yeah.
Because
And
you can
you
cause an
manage-
outbreak in my nursing home. That's
Yeah,
why.
and I'm one of the infection control nurses. So
Oh wow.
yeah.
So it is your fault then, right? Everyone says, who do I talk to? Who's to blame? It's just like, I don't know, talk to Tiffany. That's
Pretty much.
I'm so glad it's almost over.
How can you
Is
be
it?
sure? How can you be sure?
It's here. Nobody's wearing a mask.
wow.
Why do you think it's almost over?
Because everybody's just ignoring it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, don't you know, Frank, if you ignore it, it'll go away. That's why all of us still have multiple sclerosis. If we would just ignore the damn disease, it would go away. Like it never happened.
It's
I
all
went
in your head.
Yeah,
I
it's
went to
all
get a
in your
haircut,
head,
yes.
Jen.
went to
Absolutely.
get a haircut
Hi, Tim.
and I took the access bus down to get a haircut. And the access bus requires you to wear a mask. So I put the mask on. We went just 25 miles down to the barber shop that I use. We got down there and I didn't even think about it and left the mask on. I went in and nobody had a mask on. And it took me about 10 minutes to realize, oh, I'm the only fool in here with a mask on.
but you're old, so they probably think, well, you're old. It's expected.
I don't think they probably think I'm old.
I didn't say that they probably. I said you're old at first, and then I said because you're old, they probably think that's why. You just, well, that's how they are. Those old people.
That's how we
With their early bird dinners.
are.
Right? 4:30, dude. Well, I'll just use the excuse. Well, it's happy hour. It's not because I'm old. But you bring that up, Frank, and it's like I went into Target. This isn't a paid promotion or anything. I'm just saying Target. I get paid every time I say Target. No, but it's like I go in and it's just like I'm walking in and people coming out and people going in. Nobody's wearing a mask, and I'm just thinking I'm that guy. But it's just like it's one of those things, though, Frank. And you're getting your hair cut would you, and this is not a scruples question, it's just discussion, but it's just like, I felt so much better when I got into the store and I saw other people, not the workers who had to wear a mask, but just other customers wearing a mask. And I'm just like, okay, I'm in with good people. So I'm not that odd. Would you, and you don't have to answer, or you can lie, but like, would you have kept the mask on had there been another person and their non-employee wearing a mask? Go.
I probably. I mean, it doesn't bother me. I don't care whether I've got it on.
Well,
And
and
it's like I didn't even notice. I didn't even think about it having it on. But around here, nobody's wearing them.
yeah.
I mean, it's rare.
And like, but like you say, you didn't notice for like 10 minutes. Like, oh yeah, I've got this on. So obviously it wasn't a problem. But yeah, if I was the only one wearing it, I would have shopped really quickly and gotten out, because I'm just not in a safe place anymore, So
I No, that wouldn't have bothered me one way or the other. I mean, it's my choice.
yep.
Yeah.
I want to wear it. It's my choice. And
The only places I go are the swimming pool, the grocery store, the medical office, and they always say, and I don't know, yeah, how that is. I mean, here, you would think in liberal California, they would say, the liberal part of California, they would say, but they all say you must wear a mask. You have to wear a mask, you have to wear a mask. So people just do. And at the pool, it's kind of stupid. Like when you come onto the premises, outside you have to wear a mask, but not in the water. And then when you go into the dressing room, you have to put it on, but not when you're in the shower. And that takes like 6 steps till you're at the shower. And then because of the cognitive, and I never used to wear a cap, but I'm swimming because it's cold. And then I got new goggles. So I'm like between like my glasses, my goggles, the mask, I'm always like, what do I, where's, do I have what I need?
Yeah.
How you been, Tim?
Oh, living large. Just got back today from my new MS specialist, and I had a wonderful conversation with them. So yeah, it's rocking and rolling really good.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you like your new doctor?
Oh my God, my whole team is just fantastic. The doc, she is the head of the whole department for MS. I got to speak with her resident, obviously the nurse case manager person there, nurse practitioner there, and the pharmacist. And I did, let's see here, yesterday I did brain scan, and then on Saturday I did cervical and thoracic. Found a couple of new lesions, but my doc wasn't really too worried about it because she said, hey, you've only been on Aubagio for less than 6 months, so it's got to take time to build up. But before I left the office, she had all my labs set up. We had set up the MRIs that are coming up. We're doing nerve conduction tests. I mean, I didn't have to do anything. I just showed up and said what my symptoms were. I didn't have to lift a
Wow.
finger after that. And I was like, you guys are with the same healthcare system as the other guys? Because the other guys I had to, hound forever and a week. And she had reviewed the chart. She's like, listen, if you have any problems with anybody on this team, we will resolve it within 48 hours. And I'm like, okay, cool. I like you. You're on my Christmas list.
Congratulations.
So yeah,
That's
no, I'm
huge.
a happy camper. I'm a happy camper.
How far is it from where you live?
It's about an hour, which it's not too bad. I listen to podcasts on the way up and back. And there's a cool record store about 20 minutes away from the hospital. I actually just went over there and picked up some records afterwards and picked up a new turntable. And yeah, I go back a few more times. I see her again in July. we've got everything else set up, nice and staggered. So that way, it's, not too much time off of work. So happy times, happy times.
Wow.
Sounds
So,
like
so then, I mean, just totally non-MS related, but I'm curious then, of the records, what's the one you listened to most recently? Of the,
Oh, well,
of the
let me
one you
take
bought.
over to the collection because my laptop's not working too well. Let's see here. I have on my platter right now. Let's see here. I have Oscar Peterson, A Time for Love, live in Helsinki, 1957.
I will look
Um,
that up.
and I picked up today Eric Dolphy, Out to Lunch.
Wow.
So music is a passion of yours.
Let's see here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got I'm looking at about 100, 120 records right now.
Wow.
Wow.
you knew where he was as soon as he said he was walking over to his turntable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
You knew it was Lionel.
so okay, then where I'll leave with, because we could talk records and music, but so was there? I'm counting up how many people are here. 8, 10, 11, 11. What I'm going to ask all of you to do then is submit the last song you listened to on your iPad, iPod, or turntable, and we'll do an ANCAN Spotify hit list. So anyway, all right.
Oh, you'll die. You'll die when I tell you. You'll die.
Tell me.
It's kind of an unfair question because, I mean, music is one of my passions, and I don't even remember what songs I like. Like I have a lot of binders of music because I sing, and I have to go, what?
Well,
Yeah,
and
forget
okay.
the Spotify, but the singing. I used to have a friend, and he'd say, "Did you sing today?" I said, "No, don't ask me that. Ask me, what did you sing today? Because if I don't sing, I'm not okay." So today I know I was singing, but
And I'll bring, I mean, just segue back into MS and stuff because y'all like for I mean, some of you know Mary Pettigrew, right? Who's been to our group and stuff. If you haven't or you don't, she'll be here one day. But she actually just her essay that for this week in the MS Focus online magazine, she had done a story about how music helps her through her MRIs, and dealing with MS and but it's just like, the music and just how that does. And like you, Karen, I mean, you're just singing the music, just that stuff just keeps your sanity, really.
Well, and more than that, I had physical therapy 2 weeks ago, and that's what they wanted me to do was sing because my breath is not that good. So I've just been screaming the ABCs, singing all the way around the house because I can't carry a tune, Karen. Some of us are not gifted. And so I've just been singing the ABCs, trying to work on that. So,
well,
yeah.
what about Dan's playlist? But I mean, as soon as they said, "Oh, sing a song," I mean, I know that's mortifying for most people. That
Mhm.
And like I said, I'll tell you what my last one was.
Yes.
And I don't even know if you'll remember it, but it was Herman's Hermits,
Yes.
Yeah.
the eighth.
Henry VIII.
Yeah. I'm Henry. I am Henry the Eighth. I am. I am.
I am. Yeah.
That happened to be the last one I played.
Wow. See, and that's awesome. And I just, for full disclosure, and then we'll let it go and stuff. But Spotify, and you get like the top songs, music you listen to, like for the year of 2021. I will tell you all that
we know
only
who it is. We
the
know who it is.
the reason I bring this up, Karen, is only one of my top 5, and it was not until the 5th song, was there a Springsteen song in my top 5?
We can relax now.
Right?
Nice.
And it was, in fairness though, the number one, 4 of the top 5 were from Bleachers, okay, if you know Bleachers. But I will say though that the number one song was a song with the Bleachers, or with Bleachers, featuring Bruce Springsteen. But anyway, that's
So,
so.
so yeah.
Wait for it. I was waiting for it. Okay, mic drop.
There's,
Okay.
there's your Bruce.
Yeah.
How about you, Mike? I haven't seen you in forever either. I've been taking like time off for work and everything. Haven't seen you. How you been doing?
Fine, thanks for that. Harvest Moon by Neil Young. Yeah,
Nice.
Good song.
good, feeling fine.
Are you going to an MS specialist?
I have an appointment with my neurologist at Mayo Clinic on January 3rd. So that's my next appointment with him. I did look into, I was doing some research on trigeminal neuralgia,
Yeah.
which is something I think I had in September and October, but it's been gone since. And
Thank God.
I'm not sure if it's going to come back like it is like MS, come and goes. And so I looked up TN on Google, and I came across a society about TN called, and they told me they have a group very much like this, peer-to-peer support group. And I haven't talked to the guy yet, but maybe I will. I didn't know I would be happy for those people because they suffer a lot. I hope I'm not one of them, but I wouldn't mind sneaking into one of their
Yeah.
what do you call it? Zoom meeting or something.
Is that the Arizona Men's Group?
Pardon?
Is that the Arizona Men's Group?
It's not related, not all related to ANCAN.
Right.
It's a whole different deal. I think there are other groups similar to this one that have gotten up there.
Is this a group specifically for trigeminal neuralgia?
That's what they say, yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And you're not having any pain right now?
None.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wonderful to hear. Yeah. Wow. Hi, Robert. How are you doing tonight?
Hello, everyone. It's been a while since I stopped in. I just wanted to pop my head and say hello.
How have you been?
I didn't really feel like talking today, unfortunately. I was hoping to just listen in a little bit.
Okay, that sounds good. Take care.
Thank you.
Yeah. So how have you been doing, Ann?
I'm okay. I find it a tough time of year because we don't celebrate the holidays with my family. We haven't since before COVID. We're just cautious, very, very cautious. And we don't go in anywhere without a mask. And I go in only doctor's offices and medical appointments and stuff like that. So so I get a little sad that I'm not going to be with my family for Christmas, and I didn't see them for Thanksgiving. And this is the second year. I really hope COVID goes soon. But on an up note, I was having a hard time walking, and my husband Ethan thought about, I have these walking sticks that we used to use when we went hiking, and he said, why don't you pull those out and we'll go walking together in the morning, and he'll take the dog, because usually I would walk the dog, so I couldn't really do sticks and the dog at the same time. So we did that the past few mornings, and I'm a lot faster, and it feels really good to like actually be able to move and to like, you know, not be so cold and slow. So I'm enjoying that. Thanks for asking.
Wonderful.
That's awesome. How tough is it to walk with the walking sticks?
Oh, it's so darn easy. You get
Oh,
used to it in like 5 minutes. It's just natural. It's just a natural rhythm. You feel like you're never going to get it. Like, you know, you look at them, what foot goes where, and if you stop thinking about it, it just comes.
okay, because I was doing a physical therapy thing, and that was part of the deal was I had to like walk with walking sticks. I was just like, I don't know how to do this. I kept tripping over them and stuff. So, all right, I'll give it another shot.
I could never explain it, you know, because I can't think it through. It doesn't make logical sense. But it's kind of like you're moving like this. If you move your torso as you're walking, you'll have the correct stick at the right place.
All
And you
right.
don't do that forever, but it's a good, you know, like, because you know, everyone knows how to like walk and kind of move their torso with the walking. That's the whole secret. That's it. Good luck.
Thank you.
Maybe
Yeah, 'cause I was
imagine,
just
you
like,
know, yeah, maybe imagine doing it, you know, what, I mean, just even imagine not even moving, but then when, you know, when you're walking, you go, okay, I bet it's like this. And that
Yep.
is called walking, because my frustration of, you know, people don't understand, like, what part of I can't walk anymore don't you understand? Just because I'm holding on to a walker and I can stand for a long time, but walking is
Yes.
that. That's what walking is. It's like, can you take some steps? Yes, with a walker, but I can't just go for a walk. But it's good that you're willing to do that, because I know now I proselytize about equipment. You know, like someone I've seen at the pool, she had a couple of strokes, and I didn't even know it was her. And we were in the water. I said, "I'll race you," because like we're both like moving slow, but she won't. I said, you know, why don't you use a walker? She said, I'm not going to do that. You know, and I said, you know, because she has a chance of rehab, you know, and it's like, you'll be able to walk. You won't be, like you're saying, and, you know, so constricted, so confined that but it takes wrapping your head around what? I have to what?
Well, I part of the idea was one of the MS sites on Facebook. I had posted that one of my biggest fears is needing a wheelchair. And this lovely woman responded and she said, I'm in a wheelchair. And let me tell you that by the time you need a wheelchair, you will be so relieved to have a wheelchair because it's so much less work, less efforting. You can do so much more with your life that, you know, you've been putting so much energy into trying to do something you can no longer do. I thought that was wonderful advice.
In my opinion, Anne, and that's everybody's got an opinion, and yeah, I've used a wheelchair for a long time, and I didn't give up necessarily, but forever I'm gonna feel like I gave up. Like, did I stop walking? And I know, Anne, that hurts my heart too to say it out loud. But you know, when you have to go to the bathroom really bad and you have to wait for somebody to help you get to the bathroom, you're like, dang it, if I would have just pushed myself a little bit harder. So that's just the head games or my head games, my head issues. But, you know, I know that it makes it, I never would have been able to do some of the amazing things I've been able to do without my wheelchair. So that's good. And then, you know, I don't have to worry about falling. I fell in the shower. I fell through a shower door. And I'm just like, yeah, okay, that's when things started to get a little dicey for me. So that's just my 2 cents. And I don't know if that's like a bummer thing or it's just, that's all. I don't know why I had to say that. Sorry.
And because it needs to be
Well,
said,
it
you
does.
know.
And there are these two parts. There's the grieving of what we used to have, and then there's the opening of some things that open up in life when we, you know, kind of adapt.
Yeah, that's a beautiful way to put it.
Well, I suppose it's one of the things where you cling to something that just was always there, and so it's like, and you don't want to lose it. You don't want to lose it. But yeah, it's, I think, and Jennifer, not my Jennifer, but Jennifer there, but it is just, I had a job I was at for like 18 years, and it just like it was stressful, and it was just I was losing sleep and everything, and when that job ended, you're just like, how am I gonna ever do this? And it's just like, that's how I found this job that was just remote, that I can do from home. And it's just like, never would I have ever thought to take that job had I not gone through that, letting go of, the things that, it's just like, it opens up, a whole different world and stuff. And it's just like, and so I can't speak for, for Jennifer, for, losing, the ability to walk, or because, we have that discussion, because I'm just like, there's a question of quality of life. And, it's just like, do you want to continue to fall through shower doors and fall and get hurt and things, or do you just take that? But I think there's always got to be that peace of mind, or that agreement with yourself, and saying, this is the right time. And I mean, and there can be the hindsight of, looking back and saying you gave up too early, but it's just like, I, I feel like I'm lecturing her, and she's sitting
No.
right here. But no, but I'm just saying all the way around, because I've been, and just certain things with this disease. I mean, because I don't run anymore. I started falling when I was out running, and I'd come home, just all bloody and stuff, head cut and stuff, freaking out my wife and everything. And it's just like, just I had, there was just that moment where it's just like, with peace of mind and stuff. Did I give up running too soon? I'm just like, I don't think so. I mean, I think I fell over one too many times, and it's just like, there's other things, other opportunities I can do other than run. And so, but it is, those are the mind games. It's like, when are you at peace with making that decision to do this or do that? And
It is that mindset, that change in your mindset, because I could be sad. I could be like, I felt defeated, but I sent an email to everybody, and I told them, I said, what was happening. And so at the end, I said, you know what? I have neglected my self-care for years, working in mental health and addiction, or any health. You all know what I'm talking about. You neglect yourself. We could talk a talk, but we just don't walk the walk. And so at the email that I sent out, I highly suggest them to take care of themselves, listen to their bodies, because I was working 72 hours a week. This is the job that I worked at Centerstone. I worked in recovery and mental health, and I was liaison and everything. I kicked ass, 72 hours a week. Then I got hit off the chair of life because I got optical neuritis. I was like, what's going on? Like, my eyes going this way. I was like, I can't fake this. I can't. I faked the 2 years prior, when I was talking like I was drunk and I couldn't write my name. I was like, oh girl, you got what is going on? But I ignored it. I ignored it. And I could not ignore the eye going this way and I can't see shit.
Yeah.
So I neglected so much. And so when I emailed, I said, please take care of yourself. Listen to your body. And I also said, I want to be fair to my staff, because if I'm not 100%, they need somebody there to direct them that's got a better mindset than me right now. So it's only fair to my staff to have a strong leader. Not that I'm not strong, but I'm this time.
And there's a lot of ways to kick ass. I still kick ass.
Absolutely.
And not in ways
I walk sideways kicking ass.
not in ways that I I used to do, but I've changed jobs, and each time it's been better. You know, whatever skill you bring, you bring whatever. If you liked what you were doing before and you were good at it, you'll probably be like that in the next one, unless it's obviously, you know, you're like, okay, this was a mistake. It's not for me. But I don't even think you would go there. You know, you're not
Yeah.
that lost that you wouldn't know what would be right for you. And so you'll find that satisfaction.
And it's new grant. I like challenges.
Yeah.
Well, I like grants. I've worked under grants for most of my work life because there's money. You know, the money's there. And if you have a problem, you just have to say what the problem was and what you plan to, you know, why things didn't work out. But it's not like you're going to lose your job because.
And the win situation, this is the win-win. Number one, I get paid more. Number two, they don't supply insurance, so I get to get on my husband's insurance, who works at Reed Hospital where my doctor is, my neurologist is.
Nice.
It's going to save me a lot of money.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
Yeah. That's
Auto win.
okay.
Yeah.
Because they have really good insurance and I don't right now.
That's nice. And it's just the fact, you know, I've been diagnosed for 24 years, and the drugs that y'all are taking now, that Dan and I are taking now, didn't even exist. So I think that that's like, you know, back in my day, we only had 3 drugs. And now there's such better medicine. Abaggio, Tim.
Abaggio, Tim,
You know,
right?
you have that.
Are you
Tiffany.
losing your hair? Because I'm totally losing mine, I think.
Oh, well, I was losing my hair before the Abaggio, and my old neurologist is like, well, you know, there could be hair loss with it, and I was like, dude, I have no hair anyway.
My husband's bald. He's like, join the family, join the baldness. Like, no, this is what I got. Okay.
Yeah.
Exactly. I just wish he would take the hair off the ears and my back. That's all I want. I'm just, you know, just being honest there.
Site specific. Tiffany, are you on medicine? Are you taking anything?
Yeah, I'm on Copaxone, the 43 days a week.
Okay.
That's a temporary med. My neurologist said when I'm done having kids, not pregnant right now, but when I'm done having kids, they're gonna switch me to something. They're gonna switch me to something else. But because I'm actively trying to get pregnant, they want to keep me on something that they know is safe for pregnancy.
And I was on Copaxone for a long time,
Yeah.
and I loved that drug. So, yeah.
It was it's funny because I'm a nurse, so like I know how to do needles, I know how to do all of that stuff. I'm like, yeah, sure, no problem. And then the first day, because I didn't have my auto injector yet, I'm like looking at my stomach like, oh my God, can I actually do this? And then thankfully I had like coworkers that could help me with some of the sites until I got my auto injector. And now I have my auto injector. I'm like, yeah, sure, no problem.
No problem.
So, but I don't know, there was something about seeing the needle going into my own skin. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. What about you, Anne? Are you taking anything?
Yeah, I'm doing Rituxan.
Okay, that's right. We're Rituxan. We're there together.
Yeah, I love it. It seems to be keeping the lesions steady. I haven't been getting new lesions the past couple of years, and that's as good of a result as I could ever hope for. And it's kind of restful to go and do the infusions. Since I don't go out, that's like a big day for me, infusion day.
Yeah.
I always feel it's like forced relaxation, where it's just like, and I the first time I did the infusion, I thought I'd take my computer, I could do work, I could do that, and it's just like, no, it's just go and just chill. I mean, so.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Hey, Victor, you got any questions? Victor, he's got us on mute. There he is. Any questions, Victor? Apparently not.
Oh,
Oh, sorry.
no.
I have like 2 different mics all connected to the same thing. I have to unmute both of them.
Oh, okay.
Um, I guess not right now. I did have like kind of like a practical question, but it's not really related to any of the discussions going on right now.
We can
Okay.
shift gears. Ask your question, Victor.
And
I mean, basically, well, I know you guys were talking about Dan and Jennifer. You guys were talking about physical therapy earlier. It's not entirely related to that, but basically, if there was something that you wanted your, a general healthcare provider, somebody working with you directly to know when you were starting out, what would you want them to know?
As far as like any doctor or like a physical therapist?
Like any doctor, really.
That's a great question. And I just had that discussion yesterday with my primary. But before I even went there, I was thinking, she's looked into this. What are 3 things you could tell me about somebody who has MS? What do you know? Like, or what would you want someone to know? I was thinking about that, and then when I left the office, she waited till I was out of the exam room in the hallway, and she's like, I don't know if this is appropriate, but I have a patient who's like in her 40s, and she's just been maybe diagnosed. And I referenced Tim without his name, that that she's still in that process. And I said, and she wanted advice from me, and I was like, I don't know. I was going to ask you that. So here we are. So Victor, that is like totally a great question that even I wanted to ask.
I think that the thing is you have to talk. You have to tell people where you are, what you want, and what you expect.
and
And go,
along those lines, Frank, I would say none of us are alike. Just
I,
because
I,
we all
true.
have multiple sclerosis, none of us are the same. That's why they call it a snowflake disease, not because we're fragile like snowflakes, but just because none of us are alike. So, and then
And
you
Vic,
get enough of us together and we'll like cause an avalanche.
but there are some similarities, So then I said, well, what would I want somebody to know? Because I'm always struggling with that. I presume if I go to a rehab physiatrist who maybe she knows about MS, or even my own doctor. So I'm trying to compose, like, I think we need a good list, because I don't buy it, Jennifer. I don't agree that we're all different. Like, I'd say, okay, 50 to 80% of the people with MS have cognitive issues. That's a lot. And then most people don't even know what that means, because you seem normal to me. I'm like, yeah, but I'm not like confused, like, what is this group? But,
But again,
holding,
it's like
holding information.
the levels of cognition, and just like how much is it? And so it's just like totally. I mean, it's just like if like obviously a man and a woman, but it's just like we're totally different, with MS and stuff. But again, there's just so many things, and but you're right in that they're like at the core. I mean, there's tons of similarities. I mean, we can talk incontinence, and I think because what we were looking at that with, I think it was with Dr. Rubin when we were writing something for another essay we were doing, but it's just the number of people with MS who have like bladder issues and everything and incontinence that are dealing with it. So I thought it was like 70-80% or something like that. But I mean, certainly some are more than others. Yeah, and it's just like, or more intense. And so it's just like, I don't know what it's like to lose my ability to walk, but I know what it did, and I no longer can run. And so, I mean, it's like, there's not that same understanding, but there's like a level of relating to it. It's just like I can relate to, cognitive issues. I get frazzled at work because I don't take notes and things, but you're just like, but as far as that confusion, and it's just like, But then I'm always like, well, is it MS or is it because I'm getting older? I don't know.
It's MS. You know,
Always
yeah,
blame MS. Yeah.
MS. But there's cognitive issues. There's usually mobility. Maybe you
People
don't
see
have
that
it.
though, Karen. It's the
Huh?
stuff that people don't see that's really hard. If
Yeah,
you have
there's the
mobility,
cognitive, the
that's so
mobility.
obvious to caregivers, family, friends. The cognitive issues, you might look fine, and you're not going to remember shit when you get home from that point. But I started asking
And
physical therapy
yeah,
to like take my phone and video what they were doing, because I would look at the written notes and not even know what I was supposed to do. But if I had a little film, a little video, I would play it back again and again. Oh, that's how I'm supposed to do that.
and
But they
then
don't get it. You know, if you look normal, people think that you think
yeah.
normal.
But even if you're standing with a walker, if people think it's normal, I go, what do you think it is? A baby carriage or an accessory? I can't walk. You know, well, you're upright. Okay. But I mean, mobility is an issue, Victor. I think with most people, it didn't have to be, but most people, cognitive issues. I think when I say that, most people don't know what that is. Maybe we don't know what that is. But then on the radio, they're like, there's some advertising, some school that helps with children with executive function, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's it, that's the cognitive executive function, meaning, and I think it's a psychological thing, meaning getting stuff done, you know, being able to coordinate, absorb information. So, you know, the cognitive executive function, mobility, incontinence. I mean, that wasn't even on my list because we don't like to talk about that. And then psychological, you know, the anxiety and the emotional.
Karen, you were talking about cognitive. I have a dear friend from my old support group when I lived 2 hours away. She has multiple sclerosis. She went to the grocery store, parked her car, went to the groceries, went out. She couldn't remember where she parked her car. She had to call her husband because she can't walk around a parking lot and find her car. And she was like, she's driving, but she's like, I don't remember where my car is. Just, and that's like the kind of cognitive that, not everybody understands, but those of us with MS, we understand that some people have those kind of cognitive issues.
That's why I got a little tag where I could park in the parking spot, because I'll take for hours and I would be so frustrated, tired, that I told my Dr. Brandon, I was like, look, I need one of those little tag things because I can't do this.
Yeah.
Because I forget. And I don't have one of those beep beep.
Yeah.
So that's an advantage of not being able to walk, is I'm always parking very close to wherever I'm going. so when
That's
I
why I
can't
bought a big
remember,
red car.
so when I
A
can't
red
remember
great
where
car.
can't remember where I parked, oh no, I'm in trouble, you know. But I'm constantly assessing. Like today, I didn't sleep enough last night because I got a call early to make the next follow up with my doctor, and I was like, okay, they're on the phone, I'll do that. But I didn't sleep a lot, and I wanted to be awake for this, and so I thought, don't go out today. You know, don't. That's another thing, fatigue. You know, so that's common. I think those are common: fatigue, cognition, mobility, visual disturbance, incontinence. I feel like I need a card now because I'm constantly getting from other people, well, why don't you just take an Uber? It's like I have 13 steps to get out the front door.
Yeah.
Well, I have steps in the back, but then I have a steep driveway. But beyond that, I don't want to go out and like on my own with some strange driver. And oh, what if I have to use the bathroom? How am I going to get to the bathroom? It's tiring to have to keep revisiting what doesn't work. When all I want to think about is what am I going to eat?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a constantly changing disease too. You know, you start at one point and then you might lose a little capability, sight, walking, cognition. And so there's this constant adjustment on the part of each of us too. of, what we used to be like or what we used to be able to do and what we can do now. And we're adjusting, we're kind of grieving what we don't have and struggling to keep up with what we still have and how to make things work.
Yeah.
So that psychological, I can't remember who mentioned it, Jennifer or Karen, it's huge.
And then when people see me, like when I am out in something social, I do sing. We don't sing with masks. But, if I'm out with my singing people or, yeah, I even did a little performance at my synagogue. It was like a storytelling thing. And I made the effort to go there because it was on a Sunday, not a lot of traffic, parking would be easy, the weather was nice, and it's up my alley. I got a lot of ham in me, and I was like, okay, I'll do it. I'll do that. And then people are like, she's fine, look. And it's like, well, this was like the event of the week.
But at least there was that event of the week, and it is just how much, it's like we have to pace ourselves, and you pick your battles and you save for when the energy or what, and sometimes I feel like I just run myself into the ground. Just push, 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 because it's like you just have this overriding feeling of taking advantage of the good days and stuff to the point where you ruin yourself for the next four. But and I think that's where, at least for me, my job keeps me in check, because like that's the priority. It's like that's the one thing I need to make sure I have the time and energy for. I think not making excuses, but I mean that's why I hadn't been here for the last few meetings, because like work was overwhelming. It's like I just got to get this done, but it is, we just have to. I never used to pace myself.
But then again, you were younger.
Sorry.
Sorry.
And I went to the bar not at 4:30, but at like midnight is when it starts. So okay, fair enough.
Fair enough.
Okay, what's old?
Well, we're in our late 40s. And
I'm 42, so I'm still okay,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Oh, you're
Pop.
a pup.
Yeah, so
Because I have a
you're young.
23-year-old. Look, I have a 23-year-old, a 21-year-old, an 18-year-old, and a 14-year-old. So
Hey.
You're old.
I know I look young. I get it.
You have got some amazing skin.
My daughter used to work at she used to do makeup and stuff, so she's taught me all kinds of things, because I still did the 80s, 90s makeup, but I guess that's not it. She does the wing and all that. She's my 23-year-old, which I'm teaching how to drive. And I'm always saying I'm tired. And then I'm teaching my 18-year-old to drive, because kids don't like to drive. They have anxiety. I don't know. It's whatever. But my 21-year-old, he moved to Louisville, Kentucky, and his mama taught him how to drive too, because I'm a single mama, and I did it all. And I keep repeating myself, I'm tired. They do, but Mom, you don't look tired. I'm like, well, this is so much, like, driving is exhausting. It's number one, my anxiety. Whew, if it wasn't for my anxiety pills and my depression pills, I'd be a mess. A mess. And then my 23-year-old, oh, is this the break? I'm like, and I have MS. So whew, I got one down, 3 to go. Got this. Whew.
Wow.
So yeah.
That's funny, because it's a different time. They're like, no, I'll just have mom or take an Uber. I don't want to drive. I mean, most younger people can't wait to drive.
Yeah.
No, that was back in the day. That
Right.
was back in our day, where we were like ready to drive, get our permits, let's do this.
Yeah.
No, so many kids.
Where do you live, Jennifer?
Richmond, Indiana. Between the Buckeye State and the Indiana. We're like right there in the.
Like, I'm supposed to know what the Buckeye State means. Okay.
Ohio?
Ohio? I don't know.
I was
somebody from New York and California and said, people like you think Chicago's a black hole in the middle of the United States. I'm like, isn't it?
You have family in Chicago.
Ouch. Tim, are
That
you
was a
going
long time
to
ago.
that?
That was a long time ago. Now I know it's not.
You know, when I
Windy
lived in
City?
Alaska for a year, people couldn't. I'm from Iowa, but the Alaskans are like Idaho, Ohio, and I'm like, those are 3 different time zones, guys. Not
Yeah,
even close to each other.
people are geographically. My sister was living in Nicaragua, and then a friend of my mother said, "Is your sister still in South Africa?"
I thought Hawaii and Alaska was together because on the map it looked like that. I thought they were together for the longest time.
That would be a fun state then.
You got a warm tropical, and then cold Alaska. I thought
Yeah.
they were neighbors. My mind's already messed up. Okay. Don't put on a map together. Okay.
I got really sensitive after I lived in Alaska for a year. Like they'd show the U.S. map, like Verizon or something, and they'd always like leave off Hawaii and Alaska. I'm like, you're not showing the whole U.S. I'd always get really sensitive when they show the map of the U.S., but they leave off the 2 states. I used to get really sensitive about that. Little.
I told them take it off. They can't not put them together.
Did you know that if you split Alaska in half, Texas will be the 3rd largest state?
Wow, I did not know
Wait, that
that.
was a
And I
lot of
think
math. You gotta explain it, Kim. That was like
Because
way
the
too
2
much
halves
for
of
me.
Alaska
Okay.
would be bigger each one.
half the size of, if you take Alaska, half the size of Alaska is still bigger than the state of Texas.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
There's more coastline in Alaska than there is in the lower 48. And I think, I could be wrong, this could have changed. I think there's only like 17 countries bigger than Alaska.
Wow.
Big place. Big place.
Man.
Wow,
We all know that because of the map is this little tiny thing. You look at your atlas and it's just like this one little page versus like pages for other states. Yeah, it's kind of fun.
I know this isn't about MS, but Kim, I'm really curious. What brought you to Alaska?
Okay, so childhood dreams, right? So one of my childhood dreams was to go to Alaska. So when I was going to undergrad, I found out about this program called the National Student Exchange Program. And I'm like, do you go to Alaska? And she's like, yes, we do. But we sent one person up there and she didn't come back. And I said, don't tell my parents. So I went there for the entire, you have to go there 2 semesters. Don't do a semester way too fast. And you have to spend the summer there, not just the school year, because that's insanity to be there for the winter, not the summer. So I came back for winter break. And that's actually when my MS symptoms developed, was my fall in Alaska was when my MS symptoms developed when I was up there. So.
Wow. Thank you. I was just curious.
Yeah. So I'm Iowan through and through. I spent most of my life in Iowa, but Alaskan at heart, all the way.
Where'd you go to undergrad, Kim?
Undergrad was Iowa State.
Oh yeah, that's right. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And then yeah.
Wow. So I was like, what kind of college university has that cool program that takes you up to Alaska?
Oh, they go to Hawaii, they go to Puerto Rico, they go to a lot of places, but I wanted to go to Alaska. And then after I left the program and graduated, I went to University of Alaska Fairbanks. I guess that was one of the biggest destinations for Iowa State students to go, because I was kind of like a trendsetter, which is really funny. But yeah, it was really fun. We had a lot of students then, circa 2001, 2002, a lot of students from Michigan there, because it was cheaper for them to pay out-of-state tuition in Alaska than to pay in-state tuition in Michigan. So we had a lot of students not to the National Student Exchange Program, but just going there as a full-time student.
I got nothing. What else is on your minds about the MS? And I always say that, but I mean in terms of like you couldn't wait for December 14th to say I can't wait for the group to meet again so I could ask a question about blank.
Well, I wanted to ask Jen. She wanted to talk about it. She had her Botox done, and I wanted to know how that was going for her.
I had it done. Tomorrow will be 3 weeks.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because excuse me. It's going well. I don't have that urgency, like, oh my gosh, I have to go to the bathroom, where you're like book into the bathroom. And I can hold it. I don't think as well. I see my urologist at the beginning of January, and I'm going to ask her. I think she had a little bit of unrealistic expectation, but I can go about 2.5, 3 hours on a good day. If I've had like a salty lunch, especially, I can hold it longer. But if I've had like salad and stuff, not to be too much information, but I'll have to go to the bathroom. But so far, it seems to be going well.
Good.
Yeah, and it didn't hurt. I've never been under anesthetic before. So when they do this, they knock you out. And I, it's only, I think the procedure, the whole thing took 40 minutes. And it was just so much fun just to be under anesthesia. I was goofy afterwards.
Yeah, she was.
Just, but it was good. So I would recommend it. I mean, I used 3 medications, like oral medications, before my doctor felt comfortable trying the Botox. So if you need to try it, so far so good. Thank you for asking.
I did see my neurologist last week, and I'm like, hey, can you write me a referral for a pelvic floor physical therapist like we talked to in the webinar? And the
Yeah.
thing that I found interesting, he's like, I don't usually write for these. And I'm thinking to myself, you're an MS specialist. This should be like one of the first things you do. Like, are you having neurology problems? Boom, let me send you to a pelvic floor
Wait,
specialist.
so what's the thing about the pelvic floor? I don't remember.
That was one thing that Dr. Rubin talked about for if you're having urological issues to go see a pelvic floor physical therapist. So go ahead.
Okay, I didn't remember. I don't know if you can see it, but I took a picture of me doing my treatment.
Oh, the
tibial nerve.
Yeah.
So I've done it 3 times already. Once in the office, and I'm supposed to do it about every 3 weeks. And because I've already had the treatment, but again, I was like, how do I put those patches on? But it's pretty simple, it's these patches and it's hooked up to this machine, and I set it myself, and I feel the pulsation, and then it usually dies down after a while. So then I was like going, because I was nervous doing it at home alone. Oh God, am I going to remember? But I wanted to tell you, Jen, because they gave me the general instructions too, like go take yourself to the bathroom every 2 hours, whether you have to go or not. I don't know if they told you that. And then, but I was doing that, and they set up the machine for me, but it's really pretty easy. And then it just feels like as soon as you feel a little pulsation, and I didn't want to like crank it up because I know you don't have to. And I was like, do I feel it in the heel? I don't know. And after a while, it kind of dies down. And then at a certain point, because it's a 30-minute thing, which isn't really that hard to sit still, but still, I brought all my everything with me to keep me occupied for 30 minutes. And then at some point, I said, I don't even think it's working. I don't feel anything. And then it was like, oh, because the machine shut off. It was 30 minutes. So, and I go, okay, it was working because I felt the difference. But I started it at home, and I was feeling that urgency, that urgency. And as soon as I did it, the first time at home, I got good results. And this time I took it a little before the 3 weeks. But I'm wondering, Jennifer, now that I've done it and it's so easy, that, I'm wondering if it could be an adjunct. I don't know. I think it's worth asking about.
Yeah, I will do that, Karen. I'm just wondering, my doctor, like, I'm not taking Myrbetriq like I was before. She said to stop that as soon as I with the Botox. And if it should last, she said, between 6 and 8 months. And I'm wondering, at that 6 or 8 month period, could then I try what you're trying? Because is that with like a TENS unit?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's something I will ask about that.
I mean, I wasn't pushing it before I had tried it just because,
Yeah.
but before the TENS unit, I had the tibial nerve with a little acupuncture needle, and the thought of it is that I can't stand it anymore. So I think that's another thing. I don't know. Is it the MS, right? To be so sensitive?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I got my booster, and I was like, I'm a nurse. I'm not afraid of needles, but I was still like,
Yeah.
So Kim, did you actually then get the prescription, and is there such a
I saw her yesterday.
wow, like right there in the greater Des Moines area?
Yeah, yeah. I called around. I had another friend, and she's like, she recommended a place, but now I'm on Medicare and they don't take me. So I went to the same medical places I go here just so they all have me in the system. So I saw her yesterday and it was really, really helpful for me because I'm like, I need some tweaking. It's starting to get a little out of hand where I'm starting to be like a little worried about social, you know what I mean? Like it's starting to affect my life. So I'm like, we need to figure this out. So I found it really helpful. I'd highly recommend if you're having urological issues to go see a pelvic floor physical therapist. That is always hard for me to say those 4 words together. It's a mouthful for me, guys. But I highly recommend going to them. And like my neurologist is like, I don't usually write for these. I'm like, well, I need it, and my current PCP's on maternity leave. Like, so he did, but I was just still surprised that a neurologist be like, I would think that'd be first line. Like if you have a patient, like 50 per slide, you were asking earlier about the percentage. Her slide, Dan, was between 50 to 80% of MSers have urological issues.
Oh.
I would think that'd be like your first thing you would do would be sending
what did
people
they
to.
recommend for you?
Oh, well, they had exercises, and then what was the sheet about? Like, about how to help with the urgency problems and to elongate and how to help with all that stuff. So it was just really informative to just have someone sit down and talk and discuss. And because I know my habits are really bad right now because I just want to empty all the time, and that's not what you guys are supposed to do. She's like, the just in case go to the bathroom, you don't do that. I'm just like, that's all I do. She's like, no, don't do that. So it was really helpful. Yeah. And I go back, I see her next week. So I do exercises and she wants me to do like a 3-day log on stuff. And yeah, so highly encourage. I did not know this position even existed like 2 months ago. I worked in the healthcare field, so I'm kind of like upset. I didn't know about this as an option before. And I told her I'm not against doing drugs, but I would like to do it non-pharmacological first, because any kind of tweaking that I need help with, let's tweak that first before we start putting drugs in that interact with each other and side effects and all that good stuff. So she understood that.
I don't want to. I'm just thinking out loud, and I don't want to put them on the spot. But okay, so it's a pelvic floor physical therapist.
Hmm.
That's the title. And now I'm
Yeah.
just like, Victor, have you ever heard of such a thing in your
No.
physical therapy stuff? And I think that could be like a untapped resource to say there's not a lot of pelvic floor physical therapists. That could be like total game changer.
Yeah, no, I have heard of it, mainly in the context of post-pregnancy, though.
So is
That's
it
what
in the physical therapy department or the gyno-urology department?
I went to the women's. There's a section that's for women's health, and that fell under that umbrella. But they do see men because they work with incontinence, both, urological and fecal incontinence. So they do work with men too, but usually men don't feel as comfortable showing up there, but they do because pelvic muscles are what works that area of your body.
Yeah. No, I was just curious because, yeah, I'd never heard of it. And so I'm just thinking, is that something? Because, yeah, usually when you think like, because we work with like the PT students at Central and just you're always thinking like rehab and recovery and stuff. It's just like, that's like a whole new world for Dan Dickman. So, wow.
And this group, we didn't like to talk about pee and poo. We didn't go to poo yet, but we.
That's on tap for February. I think consult your calendar. No, I'm kidding.
Boy, do I have a story for that one.
I think we all have good stories, at least one or two good stories about that.
That'll be the session we don't record.
Yeah.
So we actually use pelvic floor physical therapists quite often in the prostate. No, I wouldn't say quite often, but from time to time in the prostate cancer group to help with rehab after procedures. It's fairly common, especially with respect to regaining continence. So yeah, I've been familiar with them for a long time. They're really, and everybody that I've ever known who's gone to them has said the same thing as Kim, that they've really been tremendously helpful.
They're like the secret that we don't hear about. Like there's the hush. No one talks about they exist, and I want to change that. So I will be very vocal with my local MS people around here. Like, you guys gotta check them out. You know, this is an option I didn't even know that existed. So go ahead, Frank.
I won't say anything other than I keep a box of Dulcolax on my desk. I don't know
The
why.
silver bullet.
The good stool softener.
It seems to be something I need very often, so that's medication.
Oh yeah, huge issue with medications. It's just like, let's try to keep the side effects to a minimum as much as let's not just throw on, because I think I was complaining about stuff earlier spring to my PCP, and she's like, oh, we can put you oxybute, and I'm like, I don't really want dry mouth right now, all the other stuff. Like, let's try other avenues first. I'm not against drugs. I just want to max out my other options first, and make me my best before we start throwing other things on. So
I think
But I want to put in a plug for again, only because it works for me and Michael, the Ampera. That it's like Rituxan is sort of off-label for MS, but they figured out it works. And I don't think anybody's talked about the Ampera. I haven't read it in the literature, but when I stopped taking it, I was in trouble, and it's short acting. And within 3 days of taking it, within less than a week of not taking it, I was, oh no, things are getting worse. And then I wound up taking the Ampera, and within 3 days, it's like, oh, okay, I'm at baseline.
Mm-hmm.
And it's cheap now. Today, I called a pharmacist about the B12. He goes, is there anything else I can help you with? And I said, can this delfampridine, can't I get a 3-month supply? Because I always have to call and talk to someone. They used to make you go in to get it, and it would just be so much easier if I could just get a 3-month supply. And I did get it in the mail delivery of med, but I didn't open it. And he goes, well, it looks like in December they did that. Can you, did you get 3 months? I said, oh, I haven't opened it up. So I was like, that's another good news. It was like all those little things that just, oh, good. I opened up. I said, oh, look, 180 pills. Oh, it worked.
Hey.
Wow.
yeah, your doctor has to write it for 90 days for them to dispense it. That
Well,
way.
they did, but Medicare wouldn't pay for it. Or the
And then the
so I was
insurance
just,
has to pay for it that way too. Yeah.
yeah, and they weren't, he explained to me that Medicare wouldn't pay for it, before he looked it up. And I was more like, can't you do like the pharmacy committee? Can you have this, I'm going to bring it up every 6 months. Can somebody like advocate for it? It's now only $48, not $3,000 a month. So, but anyway, it's when, those little teeny things like that, it's like, oh, I won something.
Wow.
I'm gonna run. And Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry
Merry
Christmas to you.
Christmas, Mike. Good
Mike.
to see you. Our next meeting is
Too.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it one real quick before we all go. Next meeting is on December 28th.
Okay.
28th of December. And we'll get like squares out for the national championship, and we'll have big betting pool here in the ANCAN world.
oh no, he's
I'm kidding. I'm
totally
kidding. But yeah, the 28th. So happy holidays, Mike, and we will see you in a couple weeks. All right, then I think we're gonna.
Mike.
I think
I'm
we'll
gonna
log
go
off
too.
too.
Good night, everybody.
All right,
Good night.
good
It's
night,
good to see
Ann.
you. All
Nice
right,
to
take
see
care. All right, bye. Happy last day of work.
Bye.
All right, we'll see you.
you.
All right, take care.
Bye, Tiffany.
Bye, everybody.